make any naughtiness happen. That paint shell could be a problem. They made it away, but all that information is there. Tomasi gonna find one. Let's see if any more mayhem can be made.
I think even just a single kill here do so much, and Tomasi's found another. They're making it costly. Luckily, Dirk is there, but Narate's found another somehow, and a gun.
He's got a bit of time to play with, not many bullets this time around, though, and it is the deadly duo themselves, Leo and Dirk. Not who you'd want to be facing in this. Normally ice cold, yeah. Pain shell, gonna ward him off that. Has to respect it. 4 bullets down to 1. And time is his biggest enemy currently. Yeah, done for. Fnatic, steady the ship, but it got a little dangerous there.
Yeah, that wasn't even a round where you saved a couple either. That was 1 Marshal and 4 rifles. So that's really costly for them. We're now going to see whether or not they just purchase into it, which they may do because it's Fnatic. They might be feeling a bit cocky coming up against an underdog team, but not a bad round whatsoever. Earning up to some of those ultimates for maybe a round or so time. And on the side of Fnatic, okay, Dirk is getting kind of close, but they haven't really farmed up many orbs at all.
No, it's not been all the ticks in the boxes for Fnatic. They'll be happy enough. You got 2 rounds. You're not going to sit there and be upset by any means. But if you're talking about the flawless game, it's not been that just yet. KC probably quite happy about that last round, but this is the one that means it, right? That is Dirk now pushed back down quite some way. 9 HP walking away from that.
See, I love this spot, not only for the spams, but if you have the snake bites available, you can place them at the door, and if anybody runs through there, they're getting absolutely shredded. It really isolates the angles that can be taken. Also quite an early rotation. 4 players on this side of the map already. And
it's a lot of faith in Shin, though, because he's on his own. He was isolated and further ahead. That's a really dangerous position to be in, maybe feeling he was up to the task, but I mean, yes, Fnatic have taken bits of damage, but they have a completely free sight, and they are drifting that way again.
Yeah, I almost wonder if at this point, it seems early in the round, but if KC will just have to decide, okay, we didn't get a kill, we didn't find any damage. If they go towards the C side, we save. And the funny thing is, it's unconfirmed damage. They've done so much, like probably about 200, 250 damage across the board, but it's irrelevant because they don't know yet.
Exactly. And Fnatic are going to be cautious, obviously, considering they do have the walking wounded on their side, but
left.
They should be able to make that C site theirs pretty comfortably, but still going to go through the execution, taking no corner unchecked. And I want to see how far KC commit to this. I doubt they're going to push too far now. I doubt. Aren't going to come in. They'll need a quick kill if they do fancy trying to get anywhere near close. Looks like they're trying to at least pressure a little bit here, and it does look like a bit of a goer, yeah, but look at that one way. That's horrific. There's no getting past Boaster there. You have to bide the time or do that, apparently. Narrate gonna hold on. KC finding 2 quick kills. That opens up a chance, but now dealing with the plant and dealing with the players are 2 different things. Chronicle's still alive, but the only one still alive is Fawn. KC, run back that site. Well, I didn't think they were even gonna go for it.
No, absolutely no shot at that point of the round, because as I said, like, we look at it from our perspective, you see those players low HP and you go, okay, well, maybe they give it a go, but at the same time, all of that was wall bangs. They
have no idea on Durka, right? They have no idea on half of these kills. Maybe they got a little bit from, I think it was maybe Alpha's fight up against Shin, but barely. Yeah. Barely. That's
I don't
think
Alpha would have given him much. No. Probably popped his head within a second, so yeah, a bit of a gamble, a bit of a risk, but also just that sheer KC confidence. I think that's been one of the hugest factors of them being successful is when they take a risk, they all commit to it.
Oh yeah, they fight as one. It's quite impressive to watch, and it's shattered a little bit of the money here for Fnatic. So let's see if now KC can build, right? It's first step done. Can they continue this trajectory though? Already getting confident enough to take the challenge over by Rubble. Boaster, he's only got a classic, but maybe going to get the chance to use it. Not what he wanted there, no. KC holding the line very diligently. That is lovely for them. A clean round is exactly what the doctor would have ordered.
Yeah, just demolishing them on the entry. You could even see Dirk investing into an Outlaw as well. An attempt to try and do some damage will leave him a little bit low on economy, and it will be retrieved by Alpha. But these spams coming through have just caused havoc. Like we talk about Fnatic and their Odin play. They love to throw, or have loved to throw that weapon in the past.
Yeah.
Tomasi doesn't care. He just doesn't care.
I mean, they are non-believers, right? If you want to look at it that way. If they keep this confidence up, if they can keep this round clean, you know, don't allow Alpha any wiggle room, don't let him get a little bit naughty, do some damage. If they can keep this up, there is a window. It's a very small window of chance. And that's when the question of, And again, this is very early for me to discuss this, so Fnatic fans, relax, don't worry. It is just, you know, the kind of discussion point of we don't know how well they test under pressure yet because they haven't been pressured. There has been no test sample, really. Yeah, their game that they played, the one game they pretty much played up against Vitality wasn't the cleanest, but it was fine. Job done. You're not too fussed. This is a different ordeal altogether. This is Madrid on the line. This is a big, big deal. So we'll see how it fares for them.
Talk about the goals of Fnatic. Like we've heard it from the horse's mouth after the Andalucia Flawless. They literally said they want to win all the trophies this year. Like that is the goal. The goal isn't just, oh, we want to try and get one, we want to try and get two. You've taken a roster from last year, kept it exactly the same, a star-studded team that was built in the past. Everybody else has made some sort of change. And now you're coming back in with the same. You've had plenty of time to prepare. New coach, kept your old coach as assistant, so he's still pitching in ideas. So there aren't really any excuses for Fnatic coming into this tournament other than, oh, they're a little bit rusty.
And that doesn't cut it at this point. Let's see. Again, it's just that spam allows so much more freedom over by Rubble, right? They can take so much of that space away. But the pendulum swing then puts a lot of pressure on the rest of the map, right? That's just how it goes. That's just Valorant 101. But Magnum does need to be very careful to not overextend. He's going to feel that first bit of pressure, right? That's a very deep, committed bit of utility. Does he call for rotations? Yes. Already Narrate's on the way. Narrate's got his ult here, so this could be a nice way to slow the roll. If they're feeling that pressure, they know Durka's ult is there, and they're going to be already hitting that site.
Yeah, I think the thing for KC, though, is they've been very, very happy to play retake. We saw it already in a 4v5, and with Nightfall online, I don't blame them for it. A single kill for Tamazi will get the Viper's Pit online as well, which could be used to section off their C site, and they do very well to sort of get that chip damage in early.
Durka.
Chronicle already low.
Yeah, but look at Durka trying to just battle for this space. If Narrate goes down here, that is an issue. Oh my god, he's just running down! That's ridiculous from Narrate. Sheer disrespect. Pops the ult off the back. It's game on, it's go time. They are pressuring Fnatic here. They want in their faces. Deep smoke gonna come through. Force Fnatic to just stand back, stand further away. Clearing through the utility, clearing through the site. They don't know when that spike's being tapped. They've had to invest this utility early now.
Paranoia through, it's gonna leave a couple close. Looking to try and do some damage on their way back in, but now that defusal finally begins.
The switch up of both of them being there is huge. A TP over! Martin is ridiculous! KC, they're the real deal. They are absolutely the real deal. That was unbelievable. Narrate, I don't know what that man is doing, but it's working real good. The fact that he just
He took zero damage, by the way. Like, 0 damage. He just walked straight through. I clearly felt confident in his own ability, and wow.
Nice, let's go.
I don't know how they get away with as much as they did, but Fnatic have got to be feeling the burn a little bit because, again, it wasn't like they invested nothing. That was a showstopper. They actually threw their own Nightfall in as well while that retake was going on, and they basically got nothing for it. Now they sit with Durka, okay, having a hero rifle to try and play with, but other than that, empty pockets.
Yeah, if there's anyone you want on that rifle, you know, Durka's a name up there for me. But still, this is...
Those Alpha and Chronicle.
No. Leo, I put up there. Alpha's fantastic, but again, when I think of Durka, everyone does kind of talk about his capabilities, right? You look at some of the other superstars out there, maybe his name doesn't shine as bright. He looks like a system player. Ooh, that's interesting. But the way he can create impactful kills is almost like no other, and I'll hear no bad words about Durka, but let's see if the proof's in the pudding here. KC already know, no one's gotten that close yet. 2 of them nearby. Shin could potentially play in Martin again. Waiting for it, he's gonna hear all this. Boaster is in, he's very close by, and Martin sends him out of there. Evaporates Boaster, but again, the rifle still stays. Oh, look at this wrap though, the timing on this one.
They're completely trapped. They're boxed in.
They have nowhere to go. Tomasi could just mince them down, murder them here. This is rough, and there's the wrap. There's the flank. It's not pretty in the end. That's a rifle, but it doesn't matter. Across the line again, KC. They're turning up here. This is 4-2. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see an early timeout from Fnatic just to keep them in line. You do not want this roster getting nervous.
Yeah, I think more so on the KC side, you also don't want them building momentum.
True.
Like, you look at them versus Heretics, they got bodied. When they were shut down early, they were shut out of the game.
Yes.
When they were able to get things rolling like this. Well, they beat like Giant, for example, 13-4 on this map. So you have to be careful not to allow these young players to get out of control. And with a 4-round streak and retakes they probably shouldn't be winning, I think that's where you call a pause.
Because you're starting to see some of those heavy hitters warming up, right? You're seeing Martin looking real nice with it. We haven't even, like, Narrate looked good, okay? A couple of rounds, really nice impact. But again, he's not the one lighting up the kill feed, but you know he's waiting, right? That is just, that is scary to me. Now I look on the other side, again, it feels like KC have come, one, prepared. They look very prepared for this. They look very robust in what they're doing. Maybe not in a counter strat way, but just even those retakes are so well drilled. The way they're moving around the map is just exceptional.
They played 38 rounds of this versus Foot. Just versus Foot. Like, not even including the other matches that they played on this map. So I feel like you've given Eng more data than he could ever need on what they need to be doing, what they need to be fixing. And that's what we always talk about with him as a coach. He went away for a while, came back to EMEA, but he came back a legend already. Like, we know what this man can do. You get to a Champions Final and win a Masters, you're quite at the top of the tree.
Top priority pick these days, it feels like, considering the impact you can have from the back of a coach. But speaking of coaching, this is time now to see Fnatic's changes. There was very few in the roster, there was none, but it was behind the scenes. This is the first time we're starting to see Fnatic again tested here. Maybe going to take some of that momentum away from KC. Well, I say that, you can already see what Martin's up to. He's off and about. And they haven't seen this look before, maybe feeling a little bit of something switching up here. But you think about the protocols that KC have already set. There's always going to be that aggression over towards Rob. They've been challenging that. There's the spam going to be coming out. They haven't seen this yet. So does this check?
This is the horn. They should clear this and the back box, so he has to be careful. Yep, he's going to get pinged immediately.
Paranoia. They're trying to keep him alive here. They're trying to play for him. Narrate's going to come out and actually brawl with him. He can't make it out of there, though. A nice attempt, but it is an opportunity. Martin down. That is a step in the right direction. Do Fnatic follow that, or do they adjust?
The thing is, with a lockdown and a Viper's Pit, they don't even really need to.
Yeah.
If they get towards either of these sites, they can take it and lock their opponents out. Tomazi's still a slightly more risky angle, because he can be insta-killed from that point, so he may just go back to the classic. And actually, Viper's Pit to just shut them out of tree. Interesting.
It's still got utility there, so that I don't mind it. It plays in Magnum's kit a little more.
30 seconds
and
left.
You can see them bolstering the numbers by B. This isn't a bad response yet. Narrate, can you slow it though? Durka good for one, but the trade's there for Magnum. He is on the site and he is ready for this one. Paranoia's not going to land, but there's the overwhelm. 2 swing on the corner, and they've done well here. Shin's position could be something, but now losing out to Masi, it kind of removes it from the equation. They will be considering this at some point now. So Fnatic answering back very nicely. I mean, off the back a little bit of that attempt of aggression, but I don't mind that KC tried it.
No, I think, again, if you look at the ultimates that were there for Fnatic, if you allow them to get outside C, put lockdown, and then Viper's Pit, like, you're really gambling on a fantastic post plant for your team on the retake. So I don't mind the idea. Fnatic, though, are diligent. And that's always the thing with this team, is even if you manage to take mound control or rubble control, they have the utility. That's why they play that fade, because Leo is so good at just having these little ratty angles where you're not going to spot that Haunt or that Prowler or whatever utility he throws.
No, he is exceptional in his work. And again, it's the thing about Leo is that it doesn't always transfer through to that scoreboard, right? He can be a scoreboard player, don't get me wrong. Like
I've seen him 1v5 with the Sheriff. He definitely can.
Yeah, absolutely can. But it's like some of that work behind the scenes that doesn't necessarily show constantly is what makes him that step apart. Now, it's a little bit of a touching of base here almost for KC. Brought back to heal. But if that start didn't go the way it did, who knows how that could have ended up going. But again, we're not going to see sloppy rounds from Fnatic, I think. I don't think we're going to see that. So again, that sort of cheeky play, I don't mind it, but you've got to be able to step beyond it. And I'm seeing a stack up from KC here.
Placing sentry.
In a spot where I still have plenty to play with. I think just clearly wanting to deny that C control, but again, it's that same Haunt. They're ready for it this time, though. That corner being cleared already for Boaster. And actually, they're just going to fall back. That's probably just off the amount of utility they've just seen sent their way.
Yeah, how quickly can KC mirror these steps almost? Trying to hit that rotate just right. Masi's got to be so careful to not get caught out here. If he can buy time, that would be ideal, but still, it's a lot to ask. Yeah, you can see the pressure. He's in a bit of trouble here. Players pouring through by trees. Lost that position, gonna have to play from the back of sight. He does have support and a nice little bit of stall. Gonna isolate Durka, but again, do you want a 1v1 against Durka? I don't know, but he's gonna take the site, clear it for the Fnatic side. The spike is still not going to follow just yet. There is still stall here.
Yeah, both teams with a lockdown could be one of the more interesting pieces, but with no plant, there hasn't really been anything just yet for KC to execute off.
No, they're going to hear this go down. There's the first lockdown being considered by Magnum. Yeah, going to go for the deeper side of it and counter lockdown. There it is. Durka, beautiful. That's what the position was there for, but he actually falls to Shin. By the time, they can't really deny this lockdown that's still ticking for Fnatic, but it looks like they're going to try. Oh my god, wait, what? What is going on? They are so cocky and confident in this. That's 2 detained. This forces Boaster. He has to get involved in this one. Can he get there in time? I don't think he can do much about this one, really. Yeah, absolutely not. Fantastic attempt there, but not to be. KC playing the clock to perfection, willing to challenge, backing themselves in that fight. That was, again, another brilliant retake.
I feel like that's the sort of play that you make if you're the one with the advantage. Like, if you're the person coming into a match as the favorite, you go, they got locked down, I don't care. I'll push into it, I'll face them. The fact that they managed to take out both players and then Bosa's just like, yeah, 2 players are detained, what can he do?
What are you meant to do?
Just push versus the other 2 who aren't. Like, that's the risk that he had to take, so I love it from KC. Outside of the box plays that even the best in the world aren't ready for.
This might be a game to watch. 5-3. If you weren't paying attention before, you certainly will be now. Because the buy ain't pretty coming out from Fnatic here.
Yeah.
Well, their rifle on Alpha this time. Everyone else working with a lot less, but such unique beginnings from KC too.
They're barely ever playing C. If they are, it's just Magnum playing there alone, and he just backs off. His whole goal is just to try and delay them. They are so happy to play in the retake, and it does just seem like they're almost playing 2 attack sides. They just work well off of each other.
Yeah.
Narrate's going to have that early spot, but they already know because the utility's been destroyed on the way through.
Yeah. It is a long way to go, though, for Martin and Shin to try and get over here. Not in a particular hurry, though. So the spike's going to go down.
Spike planted.
And that ult is an issue. That is hard to clear. I'm kind of... This makes me a little nervous that KC are 1 so far away. This has to be near on pixel perfect.
Is Chronicle going to try and do it for the branding? He's only got a classic in this round. Like, it's just going to have to go for right clicks and almost play for the rest of his team. This is not a great buy from Fnatic, but with this pit, they actually have a chance.
Yeah, but here we go. This is game time. Durka going to be up and overing it, but it's Alpha with the rifle in the back. Going to take down Martin and remove a little bit of that frontline pressure. They've got to be able to clear this site, and Alpha still standing, gets found. Tomasi's going to drop him. Chronicle can only do so much, right? It's all on Chronicle. He can't do any more. I don't think there's any damage. They should be fine on this one. Yeah, Diffuse is going to be there. Again, KC setting a standard on these retakes that is exceptional.
Yeah, somehow Chronicle made that close just by surviving long enough. If he's alive a few seconds longer, I think they win that. But it is just the retakes. I love the way that... Firstly, I think Narrate is one of the best at just no fear pushes into positions he should never be able to get to. And he's one of the first in, takes the opening kill onto Alpha, who's hiding around the corner on the box. That means no one saw him just full sprint in. And then he also, I think, gets the last kill onto Chronicle as well, who could have lost in the entire round.
I'm a little stun locked here, right? This is a little bit, you know, we talk about the what ifs, maybes. It's very rare you see it happening like this, and it's certainly not there yet. Martin, though, already, oh my god, they are scrambling to try and get away. Decent damage, but they all still stand.
Yeah, Shin's not giving it up, though.
He's sticking around. They want this side of the map as well.
Yeah, and Thomas is re-aggressing in the meantime. They are not giving up any space. They want to fight Fnatic before they get anywhere close to the afterplants. And that's interesting because they've had amazing retakes.
Yeah, absolutely. We haven't seen this yet from Tomasi to be this far forward, right? This
with an Odin.
Yeah, I mean, it's just obscene, isn't it? Feels that may not be the right option. Going to drift back. He does have support here. They still have decent map control, even though they are a player down. AC still have all the information they need here.
So last time they managed to push him back before he was able to use his snake bites. It's one of the hardest things to push through is the snake bite over towards that tree position. If he gets this right, 2 of these players are so low. And he's going to get the timing spot on.
Yeah, he is. Trying to burst off the back of the Prowler. Everything else going to come in. Paranoia Sen. They've taken tree, yes, but again, look at the stall. Down to 25 seconds here. That spike is non-committal. It's sitting so deep. They're looking maybe for an adjust towards B, but there's 2 players waiting.
Read it again.
Yeah, this is absolutely on the money. Now, I don't know if they... Oh, Tomasi! This is unreal to watch. 10 seconds now. Spike still in hand. That has to go down here. 9 seconds. They're going to try and go for it. Leo just investing everything, pouring the util in, buying them some precious seconds in a 3v3. Now, look at the post plant here as well. Chronicle down a little low, and the timing on the back of Tomasi walking all the way around the world should be found out, should be handled.
Yeah, that's the
There
information.
we go. This should be fine now. Chronicle gets the first narrate. What a time to step in, finding Chronicle, finding Leo, and another retake, another tick in the box. KC, this is, I've never seen a team so good at these sort of retakes.
Yeah, and it's also just that every read that they have on Fnatic is spot on.
Yeah.
Like, they denied their space over towards A. Okay, this was a little bit risky, but even still, it paid dividends in terms of damage. But then also just, okay, you've gone for this initial play towards A. We know that Bosa loves to have those leap back towards the B site, and they had 2 players waiting there, and they did enough damage that gives Tomasi space. That gives Narrate time to get into position. It's never easy for Fnatic because they can't get into post plants properly before their opponents are on them.
We're going to take a moment here just to remember Fnatic have 3 rounds. 3 rounds. This is also their map choice. Now, I don't think there is a bad map pool for Fnatic, so I'm not that fussed.
We've only seen this one and one other.
We don't really know. But they've broken the buy here. KC have such a firm grip on this game. Shin this time. Again, we know that they will rescind away from that C site if they feel too much pressure coming in. So don't stress it too much. But again, the fact they're winning out these retakes, yeah, you know, strategy and consideration, executes, can get you the site, can get you the plant, but it's always the teamwork, the chemistry, the trading, the kind of play back through from a retake is normally the hardest part to work out. And it's blowing my mind we're seeing KC do this. So impressive. But on the other side, where do Fnatic look to try and find that little entry point anywhere? They're finding nothing.
Yeah, normally their attack is by far the better side. The only team to beat them on this map is Loud. No other team has ever been able to do it.
Oh.
And right now, KC are in the driver's seat on that defensive side as well.
They're predicting this B hit again. And it's right. KC have the correct read once again. Chronicle is here early though, and that's an issue until then. Magnum's got the trade out, so kind of quelling that threat. Do they quickly adjust? Dirk has got them some space, but still Magnum and Shin just fighting it out on the site. It's leaving it down to Alpha basically. Only with the Sheriff. Yes, Bulldog and Leo to try and do some damage to the back lines. But again, look at the numbers, look at the timing here. Plant gonna come down.
10
Shin
seconds
closing in here.
Spike planted.
It's a little ahead of expectation. Leo not gonna be checking that just yet, but the utility's on the site. Alpha. Gonna need something from this.
Killed my bot.
He's gonna hear them stepping closer, noting the utility now starting to dwindle down. He knows he's under the gun. A shot could be great here, and it's not gonna happen. Carmine Core, once again, stamping their authority on this matchup. Fnatic have no answers.
No, and you could see how confident they are in every single one of these fights. Magnum swinging back in, the blast backs from Martin into angles. He knows there's players in. This is unrivaled confidence currently coming out from the KC side, and it's unusual that I've seen Fnatic ever shut down in this sort of way. 4 retakes in a row as well. They have been able to get the plant down. They've been able to get into post situations. Okay, that round was a weak buy. We can forgive them for that. But every other round hasn't.
Okay.
There.
Yeah, okay, we go again. You know, 8-4-9-3 feels very different. Let's take it a little easy here. KC out. Look at that. Wheeling, able. A little bit of a deeper commitment this time from Shin on the A side of the map and an adjustment on the other. Where does Fnatic decide to try and test this time?
But they have to be wary of everything. Because of the pushes that KC have been going for, it's even tentative on the other side from Alpha. You could just see him jiggling. Because there could be someone right next to him right now. He has no idea. They don't know if they're pushing up B. They've got the turret watching for that. And you can see Chronicle, he's setting up utility to try and clear rubble because they know they're going to have to fight for it.
And even with that kept in, Narrate is going to draw the attention. He knows they're around. And Shin's sitting safe still. They're drifting away. It's going to be Magnum.
Look at where this alarm bot is. It's outside
So
of
deep,
C.
yeah.
So then once they actually get anywhere near it, there's going to be a call almost immediately. There's a player there, and straight away, you see Martin on the map start to move back towards that C site.
Magnum
Grenade out.
buying some time as well. 30 seconds now. Fnatic aren't
30
being given the
seconds left.
luxury of timing on this one. Oh, come on! Magnum, that's gorgeous. Just takes away the tip of the spear. Dirk has been good, but not good enough to do much more, and now he can slip away. They've got the player advantage for the retake. Does Fnatic now try and fight deeper on this? That is the only option they haven't explored, is try and get the plant, but look at the time again. 10 more seconds, they're looking for a fight towards CT. Magnum on the chopping block and he falls. It's Chronicle holding the line here. That's better. Fnatic backing themselves to take those deeper fights. But now we're down to Tomasi. Martin, Shin, not gonna happen that time for Martin. Put it in the hands of Shin and Tomasi, who are not finding the connections here. That's Fnatic finding a solution. It just took so long.
The crowd's definitely on their side, that's for sure.
Yeah.
They haven't had much to cheer about, as it's been the first 2 rounds, and other than that, it's just been blips on the radar. Everything else going in the way of KC, and you're right, the real thing there was just a bit of aggression out from Chronicle. He also uses the Viper's Pit to just lock out any sort of retake position, and that was something that I think for the most part, KC had got for free throughout the majority of the rounds. They were able to get close and then get into that brawly style. This time, Fnatic didn't allow it. It's safe to say, though, now going on to that defensive side, they kind of need a pistol.
Just a little bit. I'm seeing 2 sheriffs as it stands. I'm seeing Alpha and Chronicle both going for that. So wondering if they commit, and it looks like they are. So Fnatic, you're going to need this one.
CIS aim, you
Yeah,
know,
it's
why
fair.
not?
It's fair. You know what I mean? Like, back yourself sometimes. And I feel like I'm walking into the unknown looking at KC. You know what I mean? It's I don't know quite what to expect from these guys, and I think neither do Fnatic, but what a treat to watch. The stack towards the B site here is with Alpha at the front. Oh, it's Chronicle!
What?
How many collats are we seeing today? Is that the second we've seen?
Yeah, Zipan had one earlier.
Bloody hell. Okay. KC making a quick run towards C after going, I don't think B's for us, really.
Yeah. CIS aim beats Turkish aim. That's what I've learned.
Yeah, they're willing to just brawl on this one, aren't they? Chronicle. Gonna have to respect it now. Tomasi, like a dog with a bone there. He was hunting that one down. He wasn't going to fall away from that.
Bring them down.
Can they isolate another? They're trying to. Boast has been noted. Gonna see how far back he fell, but that paranoia is good. Tomasi has to respect it, gets chip damage on the way, but they're willing to stand, they're willing to fight, but they've got to be careful here. They're being wrapped on as well. You can see it already. Durka on the way, narrates. Good, but not good enough. First step in the second half here for Fnatic, but hey, they got the pistol on the first one too.
Yeah, no, it was the buy rounds where we saw the majority of the success and those retakes from KC. I will say, like, we have seen a lot more changes in this map. Like, obviously, the updates, I think, helped out at least a little bit with the defense in terms of being able to control a little bit of extra ground and having opportunities to get back into those sites if they were to lose them.
Yep.
And you can see already the way KC were playing that pistol. They're going to do similarly to what we saw from Fnatic, playing these sort of slow-paced, patient rotations, trying to almost double back at points if they can.
Okay, it's a long road back though. Fnatic, gonna have to be taking those steps together. 5 rounds to the 8 of KC.
Where are you?
You know, that buy in the first place. Remember that damage though from that first time around? Not gonna be happening here. Fnatic just blitzing KC. Trying to re-establish some of that authority here. Remind them who they're playing against. And Shin, last one alive with limited options.
Yeah, I think we had a very quiet first half from Durka, and this might just be his announcement into the server.
Yeah.
I don't think he really has too many quiet games, and Andaluthia flawless as well for Fnatic. It's going to be a huge boost in terms of the economy. I've noticed as well, like, a lot of other teams are going to go in for those, like, Vandals, Phantoms. Fnatic actually leading quite heavily into the Bulldog in some of these bonus rounds, which is not something I thought I'd be saying. Like, I know that Mitch has been crying out for an Outlaw. It hasn't happened too much. It's happened here and there, but I didn't expect to be seeing a 4 Bulldog bonus round.
I mean...
Or wanted to.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it yet. Proof's in the pudding, eh? And it looks all in from Fnatic, though, down here as well. Got to be ready for this one. Shin trying to get in the challenge here. Durka is putting himself on the line, and it's working. Takes down Martin and tries to get away. Do they lose anyone? No. Barely damage done. Look how quickly they dismantle that.
going to give at least a little bit of space to play with, but you know that at this point, Fnatic are just going to be looking to try and play that retake, maybe do a little bit of extra damage. Look at Shin already down on just 26 HP, but there is no one to be found. And the fact is, KC want to try and find someone, want to try and even the scoreline before they get into this after plant. And they're going to play it super aggressive.
Yeah, but this post plant's really uncomfy though. Look at how little space they have. They've kind of just traded positions, right? Okay, well, KC, we're going to opt for a little bit of CT and site itself. We're not going to hold much beyond that. Tomasi's got to be careful. Find balance, almost reminds you of that first half.
Again, he'll have the utility to delay them. That's the one major thing. It's going to be awkward, and the paranoia's missed.
Oh, but that's sharp from Tomasi with a follow-up as well. Alpha starting to warm up here as well, but time ticking. He's got to get a move on. Not going to happen, boasting out. There's no access to this side. There's no really time to play with Narrate there. Just going to close it down. It is costly, but KC get there first in the second now.
Yeah, and the fact is that was a 5v4 retake from Fnatic. I actually just think KC adapted quite well. Like, they had those aggressive positions. I think Tomasi, he just went back to, as you said, his defense position. I'm going to put a snakebite down, but I think Boaster had a paranoia, and it just, I don't know if it missed him or if that was from someone else, but it didn't connect at all. So when they go swinging, it's Tomasi in a 1v1, and you're kind of going to rate him to win that. He's been fantastic thus far.
Yeah.
And the rate now, well, you mentioned it. He was all right in the first half. That was a big 3K.
Yeah, it was. And this time they're putting a little bit more, I guess, attention towards trying to deal with Durka's aggression, right? We've seen him testing this now
doing
time
the
and time again.
strat.
Yeah.
It's literally their strat to spam through that, and Durka gets caught by it.
Yeah. So he's going to be suffering now, down on 8, going to lose a lot of that confidence that he was coming into this round with. He's been giving them early chances as well. In these first couple of rounds, he has been pivotal in that. Now he has to sit back a little bit deeper, play off the back of potentially Boaster or someone else. Cautious and carefully, KC start going forward, and that might pick up the pace a little bit. Going to note the player on the site, but the store going to still be there, so they can't quite springboard forward. Got to be careful, because Chronicle could connect. Not to be just yet. Paranoia's in there. This should be the green light for the site. Does Fnatic try and get ahead of this? I doubt it. I say that. Creeping closer. No, they've respected enough for the plant, but let's see how that pressure looks when they try and come back through. Oh, I thought that spray was going to be on him then. Durka still going to do damage, even down low. Good work from Leo. Couple more steps to be taken, though. Martin and Tomasi still going to be here. This crossfire, can it hold? Boaster going to crack it open. Tomasi goes down. It's on Martin. Too many players, too many bodies in his way. A valiant attempt, but Fnatic get the defuse.
Yeah, clearly KC feeling quite confident in their after plant scenarios, just getting themselves into that A site quite easily. But again, I feel like the main reason you see that sort of boombot go through early is just, okay, we want to clear below. That's one of the main danger positions. Yeah. And then from then onwards, you had the late rotation coming through from Alpha. Solid work from Leo as always. And we're starting to see, I think, just some of those Fnatic players actually come back into the game. Because that's the thing. You look at that first half, there were a lot of those superstars completely missing. Durka wasn't really there. I think Leo and Alpha uncharacteristically gone for the majority. And now that they're starting to play those retakes a little bit more, I think also they're not being surprised. Because when you're playing up against a retake, there's only so many places that your opponents can be.
Yeah, and for KC, it's timeout time. Going to pump the brakes themselves and have a check-in with the coach, as we can see. And he's got a whole lot to say here. So going to try and course correct a bit since starting off this second half. It has been the 3 rounds to Fnatic with the only 1 response from KC so far. And their money not going to be in a great place either. Now, KC will have that, I mean, the snowball round's not even that close by either. They haven't individually been doing enough damage to really be that rewarded from it yet. Fnatic are very close by to theirs, though. You're seeing 1 off for Durka, I think Leo 1 away. I mean, Boaster's going to have his, but it is that Omen TP, so not the most important or imperative, but still, Fnatic in touching distance of that, which is always a nice round to have in the pocket. What does KC do here? We know the pedigree of the coach, right? We know that he's got that capability, but what can you call in at this point? How do you deal with Fnatic in these scenarios? Because as we've said before, and we'll say it time and time again, it's a very short list of teams who've managed to best Fnatic, right? It is a very short list. KC add their name to it, or was it just a good half?
Yeah, this map in particular. It's been nigh on unstoppable, and it looks like they're just going to go all in on this A-site control. Doug, that's surprising considering what sort of round this is. You're going to know your opponent's economy is a little bit low. maybe thought the Chronicle would be able to back him up, but what has gone from one Guardian now becomes a rifle for Tomazi as well.
That's pretty nice. I don't like the aggression in these rounds, if I'm honest. Again, the fact that it's not necessarily untradeable, but incredibly hard to trade, and then once that rifle's gone, it's gone. So it looks like Fnatic are going to try and get proactive elsewhere at the same time.
With Chronicle playing Tree, unless he killed him through a wall, it was untradeable. Yeah. Like you needed quite a lot to really get anything from that. So a bit of a gamble that hasn't really paid off and has basically fast-track delivered a gun over to your opponents.
The narrator is trying to sell him on this C take.
Bring them down.
Now Alpha will stick around and see that this is just narrate here. It's only been that fade utility, so he's not going to probably fall too much for this.
They're going the other way. Like you can see the rotation already coming through from Leo in the direction of his teammates. Yeah. So that fake didn't really sell anyone at all.
Okay, but hold on. Yeah, it tees up the trade though. They'll put their bodies on the line here. Oh, come on, Chronicle. Shin tries to make it away, and that's the rifle now still just in the hands of Tomazi here. He's got Magnum with him. Can they isolate him? Oh my good God, Chronicle has no idea how close he is and how close they are! He lost sight of it for a second, and now they've got to plant a 2v2. 10 seconds, a tap on the spike. They didn't even commit to this. They're trying to draw him out, draw him in. A Boaster, he's going to find Magnum. Oh, Tomazi, time, 3 seconds. Oh, Tomazi, that's obscene! He just toyed with Boaster and won! He's in his head rent-free after that.
I can't believe it.
That is filthy.
You've just taken one of the best IGLs we have, an 18-year-old kid, and he's just made him look a fool. There wasn't even enough time to plant. Boaster was going purely off the fact, okay, he has to stick this. It would be illogical to do anything else.
Oh, that is...
But that's what this team does. That's how they play with them.
Yeah, he knows what he's done. Look at him. Look at him. He knows it too. Oh man, that's a confidence boost as well, and that's a crushing round for Fnatic. That was one rifle being lost at a very bad time. Lovely work in unison for KC to isolate more fights there. They didn't fall for the fake, but they fell for everything else. This is double digits for KC now. Fnatic have that snowball round near on in hand. Yeah, their lockdown's not quite there, but still they have everything else. Purchase, not perfect either. Chronicle lacking. Durka, not ideal. So they're going to try and make it work with those ults to bolster what's lacking financially.
And in the first half, that didn't work. A lot of their ults didn't really have the impact that Fnatic desired them to have. Looking like KC might be on that all-in. Bear in mind, a Viper's Pit might be enough for them to secure it. The util's fantastic.
I mean, that's still exceptional. They're standing. How is Chronicle and Alpha alive? That is beautiful from them to stem the bleed into Tomazi. Well, you ain't running away from that one. There's your answer, Fnatic. Having enough of the fun from KC. It's Magnum and Narrate. I mean, this would be a story and a half if Narrate can do this. You've been good. Let's see how good you are.
30 seconds left.
1v5. He's got the spike. 25 seconds.
Surrounded. They know exactly where he is. And
that's an answer.
Flawless as well.
That's your answer. Whew. This is going to be a game, isn't it? That's a nice way to kind of correct some of the issues as well. Just an instant response.
Just watching Martin just fly through the air. I think it's worth mentioning as well, like you have to bear in mind where some of these players come from. Tomazi, 20 and 11, was playing for Saw last year in the Portuguese league.
Yeah.
They managed to get to Ascension. They did all right. They did quite well for the team that they had. He's come in here. He switched roles from a duelist and is now top of the board on Viper.
On this, I was getting nervous when I'm seeing Durka get a little too close again. Or is it Boaster? Come on, boys. They've got classics and ghosts. Let's just chill a little bit. They don't need a rifle.
It's interesting that Martin has both the rifle and his ult.
Yeah.
You almost feel like it might be a better idea to give it to Narrate. Let him try and, if it gets to a point where that showstopper could work out.
Oh, that's a bit of magic from the man there, but that's a rifle. Now we've got two, Martin and Narrate. Martin's gone down, that's good from Leo there. You'll take it when you get it.
The Phantom Wallbang.
I know, it's just obscene, isn't it? No spike yet. Trying to go for that rifle. They're just, oh man, this guy's clean. Okay. Still no spike here. Keep it on. Alpha, you're lucky. You're a lucky boy. They've got the spike and they're running. Okay, he's given them a little bit of safety at B, right? He's warded off Alpha. They don't quite know where Leo is to an extent.
30 seconds
and they've
left.
got to know where Boaster was. So they've put together a picture, but where do they go with this? They've got to get proactive, right? They've got to find one of these 3 players, otherwise they're screwed.
Well, the question is, does Fnatic throw in a lockdown as well? Because they have the util to force them off the site, but it would be such a costly round for them.
Oh my god. That's Shin. Oh! That's belting from Shin.
Target out.
This young gun, that's a lot to do, and 2 very unfavorable angles to work with. Not gonna happen against young man Alpha. Still got it, still clean with it. And the defuse gonna come in. Fnatic just creeping back into the game now. 9 to 10, very close by here.
Yeah, you can see though in every single round they're making them sweat.
Oh yeah.
Like even if Fnatic turn this around, I think you have to look at this from KC's perspective and go like, there were many rounds that they could have been able to steal away.
Yep.
Just off some individual brilliance, off of Fnatic maybe looking a bit shaky in some of these and taking big risks. Like Durka gets 2 kills there, but again, it's still a scenario where they give a rifle over to the opponents in an eco round.
Yeah, that was an eco round. That's the thing, it was an eco round with a hero rifle left in it. Now, it's speaking of snowball rounds, right? Roll your minds back. Remember, we're talking about, look at what's coming online for Carmine Core here. Yes, missing the rates, but everything else is looking pretty good. Martin going to take the early space again. This is that traditional back and forth, right? We're going to see this so often. Now, we do have the lockdown for Alpha. Chronicle's got his, so some big ults still sitting in the pockets of Fnatic as well. Round changes.
They can gamble a bit more though, because Durka's got that operator over on the C side, so he can just play a passive angle, hold for the opener, and then that means that they can have 2, 3, maybe even more over on this A side. Uh-oh.
That's stalled out here.
I think got stuck on the door.
Yeah, not ideal. They do have the site control. Not perfect, but it's job done to an extent. It's still got them what they needed, and there's the follow-up ult as well. So this is ult to get on site, ult to secure plant. Can they then bolster around it? I'm seeing if Martin feels that timing. Does he feel the timing on this one? We're going to see the lockdown coming into boot. This is everything. The kitchen sink. Alpha has slipped down towards the side to pop one. Oh my god, he got caught. Shin's going to find Alpha. Magnum going to catch Chronicle, and now there's problems. Boaster can't get away with this. He's been caught.
No, the turret's going to get him!
Oh, okay. Tomasi gave him a way out, if anything. A mercy killing at this point. Durka and Leo, what are you going to do here? What can you do about this one? There's nothing to be done. That snowball round is deadly for a reason, and Leo going to have to do the unthinkable. It's not going to happen, KC. Invests a lot, but they get the round with 3 standing.
Yeah, and they've reacted really well because Alpha goes into the site to put that lockdown in because it's the only thing that can force Tomasi out of the pit, because that pit is so far back that it actually was disgustingly good. The problem is then Boaster tries to run in and just gets caught, and that's the changing part of the round is they were just a little bit too late destroying the lockdown. He gets detained, and the other 2 players have had to fall back in the meantime, otherwise they're going to lose the round completely. But KC, they fell back all the way out, kept the pit up. Tomasi was willing to take that risk, and it ends up working out for them. And that's the thing, he has been someone who we've seen gamble throughout rounds, but every single time in a way that is just successful for his team.
And I like this timeout from KC. Now, that round felt like, again, yes, it was a snowball one. It was off the back of a great deal of ults. They haven't been having that traditional success, obviously, that they had on the first half. Way scrappier.
Yeah.
Fnatic way better in form. So maybe just a touch base, try and give them that last communication to close out this game for themselves. Because again, Fnatic's buy isn't perfect, but they're still at the point of being very operational. It's not enough that you haven't broken them completely. So in my mind, you're looking at this, whatever this last command coming out from the coach of KC is, it better be a good one. Because they've still, those final rounds are some of the hardest, and Fnatic will fight you to the very end. There is not a moment where they go, I guess we lost. These guys are relentless, and they are good enough to claw it back from 12, let alone 11. So let's keep that in context here. This is only 3 rounds that KC have managed on this half. Fnatic have been far more in control now.
This is going to be difficult now because you've got the Viper's Pit. That's going to sort of pad the difference between that Spectre and anything else. And that will force them back into Boaster, who has an Odin. You're not going to be expecting that when the Viper's Pit is on the other side, because it's normally Chronicle using that Odin to spam through the walls. The question is, do they try and pressure through this? They do have Nightfall. That's the one sort of counter that could cause issues for Chronicle, but again, it is Chronicle. He's still been having a great game.
Yeah, I rarely doubt Chronicle.
Placing alarm bot.
There's a couple of players that you just think solid as a rock, and he is one of them.
Yeah.
Absolute backbone of a team at times. And Casey didn't like what they saw there. Gonna pop a little bit of utility down from Magnum to keep check. At least he did for a second.
There.
And now they're exploring the other side of the map. Opting away on the Viper's Pit. Maybe looking to add a little pressure through B late, but we can see that Durka is keeping tabs on this too. KC not feeling too much resistance yet. They've gone pretty deep, so it does make you wonder what's going to be going on here. And that's what, Boaster, you got to do well here. This is a lot of pressure coming your way. Leo isn't quite connected until he dips back further. No, Tomasi outdoes him. And now that's that site open. Leo
left.
sat towards CT, can't do much to dissuade this now.
Yeah, the whole play was around Boaster getting something. They don't have any ults even remotely close to being online, and this retake, it doesn't look like a great spot, but at the same time, look how far down they are in the score. They kind of have to do something.
There we go. They're making a go of it. Martin could not care less. Gorgeous connection. I'm pulling the plug on this round. They're still testing the waters here. Chronicle. Alpha. Oh, this guy. An absolute animal. I just don't know what to make of some of these players. KC up to 12. Look, we said it at the start, any given Sunday, there's something in the air. You know, we've already had one upset today, right? You know, you could call the first game an upset. Maybe that's 60-40%, maybe even 70-30 if you're going really far. But for KC to beat Fnatic here...
So they've gambled an ult, they spent everything they have, and it's an Andalusia flawless for them to get to 12. Like, this is not a team scraping by. I think that's been the most exciting thing. There you go.
This means the world to them. This is, you know, it's not the ticket yet to Madrid, but it's getting you, you know, you can see the plane, you can see Spain not that far away. You're getting close. You're doing it against Fnatic. The audacity almost to do it. And again, they test, they tempt, but it's Alpha. Is this where it stops? Is Chronicle by his side? Big boys there having none of what KC are trying to sell today. Down to Tomasi and Shin. This is a brutal round to try and convert Alpha.
Spike planted.
Connects in the end, leaving just Shin. Not looking likely, but a great shot to start. And Boaster's there, safe pair of hands in the end. Fnatic answer back, it's 10. Not going down without a fight here.
No, never. Like, that's the thing that KC have to realize is they can have a pause, they can give a moment to their coach to talk them through, come up with a plan, come up with an idea, but the second this comes close, the second there's an opportunity, that's when Fnatic strike. And for now, not going to do too much damage to the economy. Like, that's the main thing. The worry, though, is that KC are very far away from having the majority of ults. Okay, from the shadows, not a great deal. Showstopper a couple away. Everything else, probably not going to be coming up. And on the other side of things, Showstopper's close. Again, similarly, the ults aren't there. But that was where Fnatic were really thriving in a lot of these rounds.
Go again. I'm nervous. I'm watching this like I'm a viewer, but careful now. That spike's in hand, and look at Boaster's position. They haven't seen this yet, but Shin goes down near him without a fight. Leo isolates him, not letting that... They had no idea they crept up. Boaster hadn't called it back, so still, this is a messy round, and that's a problem. Tomasi keeps them with at least a touch of a player-to-player number that's in check. It's 3-3 on both sides. They've got the spike back. They've got a potential towards the A site. Leo, the backbone at times. The Iceman himself pressured. Oh, he's going to be good for one, but he needed a little more here. 2v2 here. Chronicle still shoulder check. Tomasi creeping closer. Perfect work in unison from KC and Alpha. The Wonder Kid himself. Can he keep Fnatic in this map? Or is truly the unthinkable happening here on map 1? 1v2. Time. The backing track to Alpha's chance. Spike ticking away. He slipped ahead of that. Not going to be revealed. You can see the util though. Does he get a touch on this? He does. With the swing, the look. He takes down one. He dips away. This could be a masterclass, and it's not from Alpha. It's KC going against the odds on map 1. Tom, I can't believe what we have just witnessed.
No, Tomasi again. Like, he has been an unbelievable force. 26-13 in his first matchup ever versus Fnatic. His first map, as said, teams don't beat them here. They don't beat them on Lotus. They've just won Fnatic's map pick and now get to go into their own choice, which is Split, where they have one of the spiciest comps we've seen.
And keep in mind, this is for majority.